Goeiedag. Good day, fellow South Africans. Very interesting development here in Australia over the last couple of days. This is post Scott Morrison being our Prime Minister. I'll be playing a short video in a second and it'll give you more information. But basically, a boat actually reached Australian shores with illegal immigrants on it. And it's the first boat to reach Australian shores like that in over 4 years. Such is the hold that Australian immigration now have on illegal immigrants. Now, the debate now is that because these 17 Vietnamese actually landed in an area near Cairns in the Northern Territory, and Dutton has said that he's going to send them off to Manus Island in PNG, is that right or is that wrong? And this is going to be worthwhile watching because, remember, Dutton is the hero for white South Africans, and he is so anti-illegal immigrants just, coming in on our shores and just trying to claim a place here. So here's the video. I hope you enjoy it.
But I don't have any specific knowledge of the trajectory that the boat came from or how it got through that ring of steel. What I actually do find quite remarkable, though, is that this has become such a huge political issue, and it goes to, I think, the kind of political debate and discussion that we have and the fear of boats, even with only 17 poor on board who are clearly no threat, that this has become such a major issue. And the second thing I find remarkable really is that it's taken so little time for this to become a political football, that Peter Dutton has come out attacking the Labor Party, of all things, for the arrival of this boat, because they've urged the taking up of the New Zealand solution Australia today.
Is the fact that they're from Vietnam surprising?
Well, certainly Vietnam has not been one of the places which has seen large outflows of asylum seekers in the past years, unlike, of course, between 1975 and the mid-1980s, when millions of Vietnamese fled the country. However, we shouldn't necessarily dismiss claims for asylum from Vietnam too easily. Vietnam is still a repressive regime. It does persecute sections of its population, certainly political opponents. Human Rights Watch thinks that there are perhaps 100 political prisoners being held in Vietnam, and religious minorities like the Cao Dai and ethnic minorities like the Montagnards are also persecuted. So we shouldn't think that everything in Vietnam is fine and there's no reason for anyone to seek asylum.
They've been flown to a Darwin detention centre ahead of their deportation, according to Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton. How do you feel about the handling of their arrival?
Well, I think we're breaching international law pretty clearly here. The very, very basic part of the International Refugee Convention that we signed, the most basic part, is to allow people to present their claims for asylum, to not necessarily to get asylum, but to present those claims, to decide whether they're justified or not. But above all, even if they're not resettled in Australia, above all, not to return them to a place where they feel persecution. This is the absolute bedrock. And for them to be deported without even a hearing, it appears, with no process whatsoever, is clearly quite wrong for Australia to do this.
Under the new Morrison government or a possible Shorten Labor government in future?
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. I think I'm personally very much an opponent of the current policies, but perhaps a positive sign is that the opinion polls are showing more and more that people are not buying the message that keeping asylum seekers and refugees on Manus Island and Nauru, including children, for 5 years now, that is necessary. The polls are showing that a majority of Australians actually want to bring those people here to Australia to be able to rebuild their lives. And that is that's something that's quite different from what the political parties are expressing at the moment.
Dr. John Minns from the Australian National University in Canberra, thank you.
Thank you.
The lawyer who